Please.
Please, give me here.
No, please.
Give me here.
No.
Please.
No, stop it, please. Stop it, please. Please stop it.
No.
Please stop it. No, please. Stop it.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Our Killer Obsession with James and Crystal, your true crime connoisseurs. Welcome back, and if you're new here, thanks for joining us, and we hope you hit that subscribe button before you leave. All right, today's episode is a recent one. This is about the Long Island serial killer, aka LISK, aka the Gilgo Beach Killer. Holy cow.
I remember watching the documentaries years ago about this, before they had caught somebody or had a person of interest.
Yeah, and that's what is breaking nowadays, and that's why we're coming at you with the story and the new details that's coming out, because we believe we have a suspect now.
So last Thursday, Rex Heuermann was arrested for the murders of 3 out of the 4 women known as the Gilgo Four.
Okay.
Police say they have a treasure trove of evidence, though, being uncovered since Rex's arrest last week, including over 200 internet searches about the case.
Wow.
Yeah, hundreds of searches of pictures of the victims and their families.
Wow.
And searches for violent porn, including images of women being abused, murdered, assaulted, all kinds of stuff.
Wow. Okay.
They say he only had one question when he got arrested. Is it in the news yet?
Oh, no way. Come on.
Yep.
No way.
It sounds like another one of those we talk about. He wants the notoriety.
And I try to stay open-minded when these cases are still happening, and I kind of try to be like the did he or didn't he, but I mean, with a statement like that,
hey,
how do you say maybe they don't have the right guy?
Innocent until proven guilty.
I mean, absolutely.
This is all alleged, but
absolutely,
we're bringing you what we know.
Yeah.
The police are saying that Rex fits the description of the last person seen with victim Amber Costello. They said there are some defining features that Rex obtains.
Okay.
I don't know what those defining features are yet, but we'll keep watching.
Right. Okay.
They also say they have a ton of phone evidence. You were telling me about this, about the pings.
They have pings from, apparently, allegedly, he has burner phones. I hope most of you know what burner phones are by now, but if you don't, they're phones you go by and they're hard to trace, but normally you get it and your spouse or people don't know about it.
Right.
And you can just use it and get rid of it.
Secret,
no big deal. There's no plan to it. But anyway, allegedly, he has some burner phones in his possession, or something that was pinging around the area, and his phone was pinging, and
so like
his where he worked and stuff was kind of in the area of some of this stuff too. So he was in the area in more than one way.
Okay, they're also saying they have DNA evidence.
Yes, they are.
So that's huge. DNA is huge.
I mean, that's nowadays is one of these smoking guns, right? Like if you have DNA, you're done.
Jury likes that kind of evidence.
Oh, for sure.
They like that stuff, that forensic files type of stuff.
Absolutely.
They're saying that the DNA is in form of hair found on 2 of the bodies. The one body had his DNA on it in the form of a hair.
Okay.
And another body had his wife's hair on it.
Okay. All right. Transferable hair maybe, or something.
Yeah, they're saying the wife, they don't think the wife has anything to do with it.
Absolutely.
They're just saying it's probably from transfer.
Yeah. I mean, come on. How many hairs do I pull of yours off of me every day? So I get the transfer of hair there.
Exactly. Very understandable.
Right.
Okay, so the Gilgo Beach Four are a part of 11 bodies found on Gilgo Beach in Long Island between 2010 and 2011.
Wow.
So 11 bodies in one pretty small location.
Yeah.
The 4 include Melissa Barthelemy, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Amber Lynn Costello, and Megan Waterman. Those are the 4 really close together identified first.
Yeah, they were put like right next to each other.
Yeah, I'll tell you all the deets here in a minute.
Right on.
Police say they have been investigating Rex for more than a year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They kind of jumped in now because they had feared that he had set his sights on another victim.
Oh, Okay. Holy cow.
Yeah, so they were following him,
Mm-hmm.
and you know about this too.
Mm-hmm.
They were following him in hopes of gaining some kind of thrown away DNA evidence. You know,
Yeah.
we hear about this all the time, coffee
They
cups,
do it a lot.
whatever.
Oh yeah.
This time, it was a pizza box.
Yeah.
And
They
crust.
got him with some pizza. He took that pizza crust that he didn't eat and he discarded it with the box and the trash can. And that's free. That's free evidence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they went up, grabbed it, documented it, obviously, and
Yep.
DNA'd it. And
And it
bam.
matched. It matched the hairs found on the bodies.
I mean, that's solid evidence.
That's solid,
I mean,
right?
that's, oof.
DNA off of a pizza crust.
I mean, I like
If
that.
anything is your downfall, pizza.
Right. I mean, right. You know, but I like those type
Yeah.
of tactics that they get. I think that is, that's tricky, you know, and that's awesome. Who's going to think about somebody following me trying to get my pizza crust, you know? So if
Right, you
you're
don't think
trying to
about it.
get somebody without actually going to get a warrant or anything and blowing your whole entire case, then that is an awesome way to do it, I think, is
It
getting
is.
the cigarette butt off the ground or getting the coffee cup you threw away
Yeah.
or the pizza crust.
Pizza crust.
Man.
Amazing. So they're saying too that the family is fully cooperating with them, letting them go through everything. They're like, they don't want any part of this.
Yeah, and they've been taking a lot of evidence out of this guy's place.
Yeah, treasure trove. That's what they said. So we're going to keep watching, though, and keep updating as we go. Even though they're sure of at least 3 out of the 4 the Gilgo murders are connected to Rex, they said they're never going to stop looking for the other 11's killer or even connecting it maybe to this guy. It's hard to imagine all these bodies in this teeny tiny location connected to how many other people.
And it was a short, I mean, span of the island there.
yeah.
So one would only think that it's got to be the same person, right? Because if not, then that means there's more than one person dumping bodies here.
There was another serial killer earlier in the 80s named Joel Rifkin in Long Island. He was also
okay.
a Long Island serial killer.
Okay.
Dumping bodies around. I think they have most of them, but they said there could be many, many more. So
Wow,
maybe
okay.
some of these were his.
Possibly 2 killers dumping bodies in the same location.
Yeah. Crisscrossing time periods.
Wow.
Yeah. So what is this story, though? I
Yeah,
mean, okay, so
right.
we've heard about Rex. We know kind of what he did, but what did he actually do? Or what allegedly did he actually do?
Right.
So the Gilgo Beach killings were a series of murders from 96 to 2011. Okay. The remains total 18 people.
Holy
Not just
cow.
the 11 that were found in 2010, 2011. They've been finding bodies there since the 80s,
My goodness.
or pieces of bodies.
My goodness. Yeah, I've heard of them finding just pieces. Oof.
Yeah, but all in this very small, it's called the South Shore of
Okay.
Gilgo Beach right
Okay.
there. 18 people.
Wow.
Almost all of the known victims were sex workers
Okay.
who promoted their services on Craigslist.
Yeah, because we know back in the day you could get on Craigslist and there was a adult section,
Mhm.
and that's how a lot of them solicited their work, and it
Yeah.
was probably a playground for these kind of weirdos.
Oh yeah, there's been tons of like
And-
the Craigslist killer. There's specifically
Yeah, right.
stories just
right.
of that.
And it sounds like that's how most of these girls were chosen, was from their ads on Craigslist.
Exactly. The victims' bodies were found between 2010 and 2011 after the disappearance of one of the ladies, Shanna Gilbert, prompted a search of the area.
Okay. Now, is that the one that they have that made the 911 call and
That's
all
where
that?
I'm going, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure, I don't know, if you know the story, then you know kind of how it got started. On May 1st of 2010, Shannon Gilbert called 911 from a Gilgo Beach neighborhood, claiming people were trying to kill her.
Hmm.
She was last seen banging on neighbors' doors and screaming for help.
My goodness.
Yeah, if you listen to the 911 call, you can hear her talking to another male voice. You hear another male voice in the audio, and she's pleading for her life. Please, no, leave me alone. And then the phone goes dead.
Please.
Give me here.
No, please.
Give me here.
No.
Please.
No, stop it, please. Stop it, please. Please stop it.
No.
Please stop it. No, please. Stop it. Please stop it. No.
Let me fix that.
Please stop it. No, please stop it, please. Please stop it. Please. No, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Stop it.
Please, get him out of here.
How terrifying for her, and how terrifying of an audio to have.
Right. So I don't know what happened between May and December. They didn't search the area until December.
I mean, come on, guys.
I don't know. Well, police don't really take the disappearances of prostitutes or sex workers very seriously. They think these women are putting themselves in this position.
Right. And let's be real. I mean, just because they choose to do that doesn't mean their life should be valued any less than the next person.
But also, this was a very prominent area.
Okay.
Very wealthy men
Okay.
run this area.
Gotcha.
So I don't know if people are covering up for each other there or if the police are covering up for someone there.
Yeah. Because
There's a lot of conspiracies.
Yeah, and
involved.
I heard they weren't very willing in the investigations and things like that.
No, and like Shannon's mom was a real big push with this investigation and with the search of the Gilgo area. And they didn't want to hear any of her ideas either or anything she had to say.
That's wild.
Right. So on December 11th, 2010, they finally perform a search of the area. And on the 11th, a police canine unit discovered human remains.
Okay, and this was just by accident, right? This
Yeah,
wasn't
they were just,
like a tip.
They
this
weren't,
wasn't nothing. It's just...
Well, they were
oops.
supposedly searching the area, but the dog and his officer, trainer person, were just standing on the side of the road.
Okay, yeah.
And the dog
just
hit on
kind
something.
of willy-nilly doing their thing. They were, my understanding, it was just... They were just doing their thing. There wasn't an active search.
Right.
And then the dog was just like, hey, there's something here. And which prompted them to say, maybe we should search here.
Exactly. And so the first set of remains were later identified as Melissa Barthélemy. She's one of the Gilgo Four. She was last seen leaving her home after she made arrangements to see a client in Long Island. After her disappearance, Melissa's sister started receiving calls from Melissa's phone from a male claiming to be her killer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, he even told her he was going to watch Melissa's body decompose.
Wow. And wild. And when it came out, like, it was pinging just around the area when they searched the phone. They're like, well, let's see where these calls are kind of coming from. And it was just around the city.
Yeah, just everywhere. So 2 days later, on December 13th, 3 more sets of skeletal remains were found near where Melissa was found, and all within 500 feet of each other.
Wow.
And all wrapped in burlap.
Okay. All right. Wow.
So obviously these were connected.
All of them, yeah.
Yeah, at least these 4 women are connected. They're all real clustered together and wrapped in burlap.
Okay.
And they're all sex workers off of Craigslist.
Wow. Right.
Okay. Same as Shannon.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. But she wasn't found in burlap, right?
No, we'll get to that too.
Okay.
Okay, so the rest of the remains found that day were identified as Amber Costello, Megan Waterman, and Maureen Brainerd Barnes. Those were the rest of the Gilgo Four.
Okay.
All of the women went missing after arranging to meet a client in Long Island. And that's when these 4 women were dubbed the Gilgo Four.
All right.
Okay, the remains of 6 more victims were found in the same area in March and April of 2011. Police, though, they believe that the 6 victims actually predate those first 4 they found. So they think they were there longer.
Okay. All right.
And they're not really connecting them to Rex right now. I think they're all kind of related, though. It's really hard to believe this many women right in this area are from that many different people.
Multiple murderers. I'm with you there. I think they got to be connected, right?
Right. So after finding all of these victims now, they believe they're dealing with a serial killer. They're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is before Rex. So a whole year goes by. December 13th, exactly a year. And Melissa Gilbert's body is finally found in the Oak Beach Marsh.
Okay.
So they were doing a search of the marsh. They found her purse. And then a quarter mile away from there, they find her body. But police didn't link her death to the Gilgo Four or the Long Island serial killer.
Which is wild.
Even though she was being chased by somebody. It's clear on the 911 call.
I mean, you can hear it.
Yeah. She was out there meeting a client. She is a sex worker off of Craigslist.
Off of Craigslist, yep.
Out there meeting a client in Long Island. The same MO as the rest of these women.
I mean, and it's the same area.
Police said, nah, she must have been drugged. She must have been drunk.
Wow.
Ran off and drowned in the marsh.
That's wild.
Yeah. Where do you even come up with this theory?
Right. Yeah.
And why?
Especially when you got all this other stuff going on right there. And you're like, no, this girl's
she's not part of it.
She's a drunk that ran off and drowned herself. Like,
Right.
where do you even come up with that?
Right. And why are
Yeah.
they so unwilling to connect her to the rest?
Right. Yeah.
Why just her?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense.
They did do a second autopsy, and it was found that she was strangled. She didn't drown. But the police are still contesting these findings.
Wild. Why? And why, really? I mean, why? That's all we're here to do is get to the bottom of who's killing these poor women and solve the crime.
Right.
So
and there's
why?
another woman out there meeting everything exactly like the rest, but you're like, nah.
Yeah. And why dispute stuff? We're here to find
Now,
the
she
truth.
was the only one seen by other neighbors,
Okay.
talked to by other neighbors. Apparently,
Gotcha.
some old man said he had seen her running too, screaming,
Okay.
whatever. So was it just to cover up the fact that there was a victim running in this neighborhood,
I mean,
trying not to connect it? Like, oh, she was just crazy.
Yeah.
Drugged girl running.
Wow.
Nothing to see here, So there have been 18 bodies found in the Gilgo Beach area from 82 to 2011.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
In that small area.
18 bodies.
Yeah.
Oh my
And during that
goodness.
time, so they start finding these bodies, and the neighborhood's not in an uproar about it.
Right,
All these
yeah.
rich people living in this beautiful area, and nobody's saying anything.
Yeah,
Everybody's super quiet
I
about
heard
it.
that. It was really weird. It was really weird. Nobody wanted to help. Everybody just kind of wanted it
Yep,
to
they're just kind
go
of
away.
putting their blinders on and not paying any attention.
That's weird.
But why?
Yeah, that is weird, especially in a prominently more wealthy community.
neighborhood. Yeah. It makes no sense.
Normally they want to get down.
Unless there's
business.
something going on there.
Unless there's something going on there, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I'm gonna get the conspiracy stuff here.
Hey, what do you think? I mean, what do you guys think? Like, I mean, could the neighborhood realistically be covering up for each other or one person?
Are there like prominent wealthy men running some kind of secret situation there?
I mean, we all know there's rings of criminal activity out there, and
It's plausible.
It could happen.
Somebody's covering for somebody.
Something weird is going on here. I mean, there's 18 bodies. That's a lot. That's a lot right here in this certain area.
Yeah.
Either there's multiple people putting them there, or once certain somebody's been busy for a lot of years since like they started finding them in 82.
Yeah.
So either somebody's been putting them there since 82, or you got a little something more going on here, and there's a lot of people that's been busy.
Yeah, and they investigated the guy that Shannon went to, like hit the client.
Okay.
And he's not it, and she had a driver there with her, and he's not it.
Mm-hmm.
There have been other suspects.
Okay.
Okay, for example, there's a Gilgo Beach resident named Dr. Peter Hackett.
Okay.
This guy's a bit of a weirdo.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, there was burlap found by his garage. He had placed a call to Shannon's mom after she disappeared, saying he ran a home for wayward girls
Okay.
and that he had treated her the day of her disappearance.
Okay.
Okay, she brought this up.
Okay.
The mom. She's like, what, telling the police
what about this doctor?
He completely denied it. He said, I never called her. That's ridiculous. I would never. That's
wild.
bizarre.
That's wild.
Well,
that he
phone
denied that.
records said he did. He called her.
So then what do you say to that? Like, there's
Right.
proof.
Nothing ever came out of it. He's never, he looked at it a little bit,
Okay.
but no.
Now let's say, let's look at the other side too. Like maybe, was he a client? Was he a client and he was, he
Maybe.
was looking for her, and knew that was a place to call to try to find her?
Or was he just some, weirdo trying to get in on what's going on and be a part of it?
yeah.
People
you never
like to-
really know, right?
No, you don't.
Wow.
Yeah. They had another suspect named John Bitroff. He was from Menorville, Long Island. In 2014, he was convicted of the murder of 2 sex workers that took place in 93 and 94
Okay.
because his brother sent DNA to one of those ancestry sites.
Oh, yeah.
We've heard of other ones of this too.
This has been happening now since that's more of a thing, and
Yeah.
people wanting to find out where they're from.
Yeah, so it connected John to the killings of these 2 sex workers, and now he has been convicted. And they thought maybe it was him, so they looked into him a little bit.
Okay.
Not him.
Right. Okay.
And now we have the arrest of Rex Heuermann.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's where we
So
are
that-
right now. This is going to be a really interesting one.
Yeah. This is.
Do we finally have our man?
And did Pizza Crust bring this guy down? You know what I'm saying?
Incredible.
Like, wow.
All right, we'll be watching closely as this case unfolds and getting all the deets for you guys and keeping you updated. It's going to be a wild one. I'm sure it's going to be all over TV, and we're ready for it. Also, let us know what you think about the case and what are your theories.
We appreciate you guys being here with us, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave and turn on that notification bell, you guys, so you don't miss any upcoming videos and the updates on this one as they come out.